Okay, hello guys, and welcome to $100 million appointment setter. Okay, now listen, the reason why I've called it that, just a bit of a Hormozy joke, and also like I've been able to make a lot of money with appointment setting, guys. Okay, specifically, I've made well over six figures. I've worked with people like Charlie Morgan and William Brown, and I've generated $1.7 million in cash for my clients, and obviously seen a lot of that for myself as a result. And appointment setting has changed my life, and I really wish somebody had given me this strategy when I first started out, because I would have gotten here so much faster, made so much more money, and just been so much further ahead. So for those of you that are looking to start, or you're already starting now and you're kind of not making the money you want to make, and you're not making kind of like, you're not on the roll that you want to be on, you're worried about AI coming to take you out, which by the way, I'm going to cover that in this video. This is going to be for you. And this is my strategy to making a lot of goddamn money with appointment settings. So watch carefully, okay? Now, the first thing I want to run you guys through is the foundations, okay? The first thing that we need to do before you even try and make money on a roll, and this is something that I see all of the time with like brand new appointment setters and even appointment setters that are experienced, right? Is you need to pick one model, okay? And what I mean by that is B2B or B2C. Which one are you going to do? It's one or the other, right? You have to pick one. And when you pick one, you have to understand the intricacies of it as well, because it's not a case of just like a decision like that. You have to actually understand what you're getting into, why you're getting into it, and why you want to get into it as well, okay? And especially with AI coming into play, okay? Because AI is going to drastically affect either B2C or B2B, is going to have a part to play in each. And obviously the part that it plays in each one is going to affect your experience and how you're going to work and your enjoyment and your experience and your journey as a setter, okay? So with B2B, right, as a rule of thumb, this is harder for AI to completely just take over it, okay? And the reason why is because B2B, typically sales for B2B, like if you're going to be working as a setter in a B2B environment, is going to be a high ticket, pretty goddamn high ticket environment that you're going to be in if it's selling specifically B2B. It can go upwards of like 5, 10, 15, 20K, right? Now, let me ask you this. Can AI completely handle that? Massive high ticket purchases, massive like pain points, massive like human interaction needed. Do you think an AI bot can just completely just take over like that? No, it can't. Okay. Yes, it might have a part to play for like, for example, the grunt work. It could be sending the follow-ups. It could be doing like basic qualification and basic like question answering. But like business owners who, by the way, know the game, they probably use AI setters themselves. They're going to want to they're going to prefer to speak to a human being. And I can tell you that firsthand because I work on B2B offers still. By the way, I still do appointment setting to this day. I can tell you right now, these guys don't like talking to AI bots, right? I've seen it. And also when I speak to them, right, sometimes when I'm sending text back and forth, they can go cold all of a sudden. And I think, why has this gone cold? And I will literally message and say, oh, is everything okay? What happened? And they go, oh yeah, I've just realized this is an AI bot and I don't want to speak to a bot. And then I have to prove it to them with like a voice note or a video going, look, I'm not an AI bot. This is me. This is a human being. And they're like, oh, okay. And I kind of ignite the fire in terms of the conversation there. But like these guys, like when they're buying something high ticket and it's like high stakes like this, they don't want an AI bot to be handling it. Okay. It looks unprofessional, looks unethical, and they would much rather prefer a human being. Okay. So AI in B2B is harder for it to completely replicate, right? And completely take over. So for you guys, that's going to be a massive leverage point for you because you're gonna be so much more valuable in terms of that. Because again, like human interaction, especially with AI growing more and more, human interaction, especially in the high ticket B2B space, is going to become more and more valuable, right? So just understand that with B2B, right? AI is going to handle like the boring stuff like prospecting and data entry, right? It can help with like, it can assist with like research, lead qualification, scheduling, but the human kind of relationship building is going to be where a lot of the leverage is actually happening, right? So B2B, AI is going to be involved 100%, but only for the tiny little grunt work bits. The human is going to have to come in and seal the deal, okay? Whereas a B2C, for example, right? B2C, like consumers don't really understand the game of like AI and appointment setting or sales processes or objection handling. Like they're not really too familiar with it because they're not doing that day to day. Okay. They're just like typical normal people working a 9 to 5. They're not specifically like too inclined to understand all of the intricacies of this, right? So you guys need to understand that AI can get away with it a lot more here, right? It won't need to have much involvement from a human. It will still need a human touch, right? But like AI can do a lot more of the work than it can in B2B. For example, like AI can handle like mass volume DM handling, right? It can do like reminders, nurture, lightweight empathy, right? And like it can do quite a lot of the work compared to B2B, but a human will still be needed because like what I found in working in B2C environments, these guys are very scared, okay, especially for high ticket purchases, right? They're quite scared to invest. They think things are scam and they get a little bit concerned. And the way you overcome that is by obviously, building rapport, resonating with them and making them feel safe. AI can't do that as well as a human can. A human can do that by using like personal storytelling, getting on the phone with them, like giving them a call on like the Instagram app. You can call people on Instagram now. Well, that's been a thing for a while. Anyway, it doesn't matter, off topic. Like it can use personal storytelling. For example, if I'm on an offer helping people, like, I don't know, get into appointment setting, right? Quit their job, right? And somebody's like, oh, I don't really know. Like I can get in and go, look, like mate, I used to work in a retail job, scraping £1,000 a month. My car payments basically were more than my income at this job, and it got to the point where I needed to fix something, and that's when appointment setting changed my life. Now this is a true story, okay? Like AI can't do that in like a voice note, right? If I send that in a voice note, or I give them a call, or I send them a personalized video and they can see this speaking to a human being and they can relate to me and I'll be able to rapport that way and they like me, that's going to make booking the call so much easier, okay? Because these guys get scared easy, right? They make decisions based off emotion, how they feel. AI can't fully make them feel how they need to feel to book in a call consistently. It can do it to like a decent level, but to the levels that these offer owners are looking for you to book a shit ton of appointments, it needs to have that human element to it as well, okay? So just understand that if you go into B2C, you're going to be kind of partnering with AI a lot more, and you're going to have to kind of like work with it a lot more and be like kind of in its presence a lot more than you would be with B2B, where, human relationship building really is going to do a lot of the damage here, okay? Compared to, like I said, B2C, AI is going to be involved a lot more. Doesn't mean you're going to be irrelevant. Just means you have to be more aware of it, okay? And here, sorry, hiccups. Here, right, if you're bad at what you do, then you will be replaced by AI, because AI can book appointments by itself with B2C. Because again, these guys don't really understand what's going on. They're not going to be thinking, is this an AI bot? And if they are, it's not going to be that many of the people you're speaking to. So if you're crap at what you do and you work on a B2C offer and AI can basically do what you're doing, then you will be replaced, right? As a rule of thumb in general, guys, AI will replace the crap setters, but it will make the good setters actually thrive, okay? So if you're crap at what you do, you're not very good, right? And you work in a B2C environment, you are much more at risk of being completely replaced by AI, right? So just keep that in mind, right? So yeah, are you best suited for B2B, right? Is this best suited for you, or are you best suited for B2C? Okay, you need to make that decision and pick one, okay? Whether you're a beginner or you're experienced, and I'll get into that in a second, but you must pick one only, okay? Now, what I need you guys to understand, right, is actually the golden rule of thumb. I'm going to go through that quickly first, is enter a high ticket environment regardless. If you're B2B or B2C, high ticket can get very high ticket in B2B, whereas high ticket in B2C kind of has a ceiling of about 5K. B2B can go as high as like 50 grand, right? Because it's business owners that have more access to finances. Yeah, you get the point. Like high ticket is going to be very high ticket in B2B. High ticket in B2C is like 3 to 5K, and even that's quite hard because a lot of consumers don't have 3 to 5K, believe me, right? People that work in normal jobs, people that are just like everyday people, not really entrepreneurial, not starting a business or anything, they don't have 3 to 5K very often, okay? And if they do, it's quite hard for them to get a hold of. And yeah, so high ticket won't be like 10K plus. But the reason why the high ticket rule is so damn important for you guys is because the higher ticket the offer that you're on, that you're selling, right, the more money you're going to get paid as a result. So if you're on an offer paying that is 2K for the ticket price, and let's say you're on a pay per sell offer, which I always recommend to try and avoid anyway. Like you can do it to start off with as long as a business is dialed in. But like pay per sell on like a 2K offer, and you're being paid like 5% commissions, and the lead flow is not that good, and their closing rate's not that good, and their show rate's not that good, and you're being paid per sell on a 2K offer, like, oh, you're going to get paid nothing, man. So like for like pay per sell offers, only ideally do it for like offers of like 5K plus, like 3 to 5K plus, even 3K. No, I'd say 5K plus. Okay, so if you're in B2B or B2C, you must go into high ticket, because if you want to make good money as a setter, right, you need to be on an offer that sells for high ticket prices, especially if you're being paid per sell, because if you get a commission check on the price of the product, then obviously it's going to be more if the product is really expensive compared to if it's quite cheap, okay? And obviously as well, like if you get paid per appointment or per sale or like a base salary, they're going to have more to pay you the more they get paid by the product, right? If they have a product for like 10K and they're selling a few of them per day or per week, well, they're going to have more to be able to pay you as a result because they're like a richer company, so to speak, okay? So don't get on offers at like 500 quid because number one, you're not going to get paid a lot. And number two, AI is more involved in offers at a lower ticket because it doesn't require as much grunt work. The higher ticket the price, the more pain point is involved, right? And the more human empathy and human touch is going to be desired and needed, right? Because it's such a high ticket thing, right? It needs a human, the higher ticket it is. The lower ticket, right? For like B2C, for example, like lower ticket B2C, AI can kind of handle it by itself because it doesn't really need a decision from, like it doesn't need a third party helping them make the decision, right? It's for example, like when people buy stuff from Amazon for like 200 quid, like if you buy something from Amazon, you don't need like a human being to try and push you over the line to buy this thing for £200 or like for £10, £20. You'll make that decision yourself. So either you're not going to be needed because the person can make the choice himself, or you're not going to be needed because AI can just do it for you and it doesn't really need a human as much. Okay, so you must, whether you get into B2B or B2C, okay, whatever model, you must enter high ticket environments with high ticket prices, and that's like 3 to 5K plus, because that's how you stay in the game long term and stay AI proof and actually have a good experience with your setting journey. Okay, bit of a mouthful, but it's so important, guys. Don't be getting on offers that are like 1K. Get on like 3 to 5K minimum. Okay, even if that's B2B or B2C. High ticket rule, right? Get into high ticket environments. Now, I need you to understand the hierarchy here as well. So we have like models, which are B2B and B2C, is the entire kind of like the macro like foundation of it. And then we have markets, sub-markets, offers, and niches. Okay. And a lot of you guys don't even understand what these are, which is why a lot of you guys fail and make no money and say appointment setting is saturated. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, AI is going to wipe me out. Ooh, it's because you don't understand this, right? You need to use your brain, guys. I'm teaching you it now. It's going to save you, okay? So this is how the hierarchy works. We've got the market, right, which is the environment that the solutions you're selling, right, the offer you're on, the thing being sold, the product, the environment it lives in. For example, health, wealth, or relationships. I haven't put a closed bracket there. Who cares? Anyway. So like health, wealth, relationships could be tech, gaming, music. Pro tip, I recommend if you're going to be an appointment setter in any of these markets, pick health, wealth, and relationships. And the reason why is because health, wealth, and relationships have the biggest pain points, right? And obviously, like I said, the bigger the pain point, the more you can charge. The more you can charge, the less likely you are to be replaced by AI, okay? So health, wealth, relationships, I'd say like these are the big three that I'd recommend to only get into. You can do like tech, music, gaming, whatever, but the pain points aren't that high. The high ticket prices aren't that high. And the lead flow is not really there. Like, yeah, I just recommend health, wealth, relationships, okay? That's what I get into. But there could be like tech, gaming, music, whatever, right? So I recommend health, wealth, relationships as the big three, kind of as a rule of thumb if you want to make a lot of money as a setter and stay AI proof, right? Then we've got sub-market, okay? So that's a specific area within the market. For example, fitness coaching, business coaching, relationship coaching. You get the point, like fitness coaching within health, business coaching within wealth, and then relationship coaching within, relationships, okay? It's kind of like this specific area, okay? What specifically in health? Fitness coaching, gut health coaching, athletic coaching, running coaching. Like it's just a specific area, okay? You get it? For example, business coaching, that could be marketing coaching. What other kind of coaching? My mind's gone blank, but you get the point. Anything to do with like business coaching, okay? Like hiring better teams, improving your profit margins, and getting funding, investing. Like you get the point. Anything within wealth. That's kind of like the macro category. And then the sub-market within it are the specific areas like business coaching, marketing coaching, improve your profit margins coaching. You get the point, okay? So it's the specific area. I hope that makes sense. And then we've got the offer, okay? So the exact offering within the market and sub-market. Now this is when you're on, like, for example, a fitness coaching offer, right? The specific offer would be get a six-pack in 90 days. Or if you're in a wealth market, right, on an offer there, it could be 10x your business, okay? Get a 3x ROAS on your marketing campaigns. Save your marriage for relationships. It could be like that, okay? That's the offer, okay? Every single, like, environment you're going to be in and person you're working with will have an offer like get a six-pack in 90 days, 10x your business in 3 weeks. Bit ridiculous, but you get the point. Save your marriage in 90 days. That's the offer, okay? And then we have the niche within that, okay? So the niche is the specific audience being targeted. For example, busy dads, stressed CEOs, middle-aged couples. It doesn't matter. It's the specific audience. Like, for example, like young entrepreneurs, athletes, depressed mums. That's a bit of a weird one. It doesn't matter. It's a specific audience being targeted within there, okay? So So it's super important that you actually understand how that works, because a lot of you guys get into setting, you go, oh, I'm just going to apply to this role. And then you just wonder why you're not getting paid any money and why you get replaced by AI, because you don't understand how the hierarchy or the foundations work. So it's so important. Even if you think you're experienced and you know what you're doing, you need to understand this and go through this again. It's super important, okay? Because I promise you, if you don't understand this and how it works and make your decisions really strategically based off this information, you will fail. I promise you will, okay? So make sure you go through this and understand it before you start trying to go on your journey, right? This is specifically important for beginners and experienced too, but beginners, if you guys want to save a lot of time making mistakes and like frustration, make sure you're making your decisions strategically based on what I just said there, okay? So pick one model specifically, understand this, right? And then what I want you guys to do, if you're a beginner, I want you to pick one model, so B2B or B2C, pick one, and then one market. And it has to be a high ticket environment, okay? It can't be like $200 because you're going to be replaced by AI and you're not going to get paid a lot of money even if you weren't, okay? So pick one model and one market, okay? So what I mean by that is, so pick B2B or B2C, depending on what you're best suited for, understand the characteristics within each, the AI involvement within each, and which one you feel like you'd be best involved with, okay? And then pick one market. So pick either health, I'd recommend, honestly, guys, do one of these three, either health, wealth, or relationships. Pick one. What would you be best suited for? What would be more interesting to you? Would you like the health stuff? Are you more knowledgeable on that stuff? Would you prefer to be in wealth? Like, do you feel like you have more kind of terminology and knowledge on like business terms? Or relationships? Do you feel like you're kind of like you'd fit within that that category better? Okay, just pick one market. Okay, if you're a beginner, one model, right? One of these, B2B or B2C, not both, B2B or B2C. So business owners or consumers, everyday people. That's what B2B and B2C is. If I haven't described the description, you don't really understand what it is. It's business owners, businesses targeting other businesses. So we're a business targeting other businesses and helping other businesses like in some way, business owners. And then we're a business targeting consumers, just everyday people. For example, like Netflix targeting everyday people for their, for entertainment purposes, right? Or for example, Stripe could be one. That's a business helping other business owners with their payment processing, right? So pick one, depending on which you prefer, okay? Like, would you prefer to work with business owners who take a little bit more persuading and need more human empathy, right? And need more like direct communication, or consumers who rely based more on like emotions and how they feel and they don't really understand the game too much, but they're easy to book in calls, but they're not that easy to close because they don't really have that much money. These guys are very familiar with sales calls. They know what you're trying to do. So you have to kind of like do it a bit more strategically, right? Yes, AI is not involved, but you have to work a lot harder, which is fine, right? B2C, very easy to book in calls. A lot of the time they may not show up though. The show up rate for B2C is notoriously bad. And also they're quite hard to close because a lot of the guys don't really have any cash. So the qualification is going to have to be harder. Which one would you be best suited for? B2B or B2C? Pick one, right? And then pick one market, okay? Health, wealth, or relationships, which one are you best suited for? That's the beginner strategy, okay? For experienced, stop hopping around, right? Stop hopping from B2B or B2C and hopping each market from health, wealth, relationships, hopping from fitness coaching to business coaching to relationship coaching. Stop hopping around on different offers. Pick one model, so B2B or B2C. Pick one market, right? So health, wealth, relationships. And then one sub-market and then master it, okay? So pick one model, B2B or B2C, pick one of these, health, wealth, relationships, and then pick one of these, right? Health coaching, gut health coaching, athletic coaching, running coaching, wealth coaching, investment coaching, real estate investment coaching, save your marriage coaching. You get the point, right? Pick one of these each. One of these, and one of these, okay? And then master it. You have enough experience now to double down on one. So pick one that is the highest ticket that you can get into, that you have that you can see yourself being in long term, because specialist advantage will always win. Specialists thrive, generalists survive. I should put survive, doesn't matter. Anyway, specialists thrive, generalists survive. And what I mean by that is specialists will always get paid more in the long run in any realm of human life, right? Human endeavor. Not to sound like Andrew Tate, right? But like, for example, kidney surgeons or kidney transplant specialists, right? They're going to get paid more than a generalist surgeon or a generalist doctor, right? For example, roofers are going to get paid more than generalist builders. Why? Because they've been doing it they've been doing this specific thing, knowing it at the back of the hand since before you were born, right? If you have a leak in your roof, do you want a generalist builder to come and fix your roof or a specialist roofing specialist, right? Would you rather a guy like that that's been doing it at the back of his hand, knowing it at the back of his hand for several years to come and fix your roof, or would you rather just some generalist builder that does roofs every now and then? you're going to pick the specialist roofer. And that specialist roofer, because he's so good at fixing that problem, is going to get paid more. And it's the same in here. An appointment setter, right, that is a specialist in one area, like one model, one market, one sub-market, right? When they're a specialist in one area, they're going to get paid more as a result, okay? If somebody has an offer helping 7-figure tax consultants get more high-ticket clients, right? And there is 2 candidates for the appointment setters. There's one that's kind of been in several different offers and hasn't really niche down to one, and there's another guy that's been working specifically in that model, in that market, in that sub-market, within the tax consultant realm, has like loads of results for it, knows exactly what he's talking about, knows it at the back of his hand, knows all the terminology, knows all the terms. Who is the person going to hire? The person that's actually hiring. What are they going to hire? The specialist, or are they going to hire the generalist that's been kind of hopping around? They're going to hire the specialist, and that specialist will be paid more as a result. Okay, so that's why for like experience, like if you want to really make a lot of money, you need to double down on one, okay? But for beginners, you guys don't need to do this yet. And the reason why is you don't really have the leverage to be trying to niche down to one specifically yet, okay? You guys need to hop around in the beginning for experience and then use that as leverage to double down on one area to become a specialist down the line, okay? If you're a beginner, you have no experience, you need to kind of get on any role you can, as long as it's within like one model and one market, so you can actually kind of like at least get an idea, okay? That's what I'd normally pick, right? What I recommend you guys to do is to do that, hop around, right, for like a different kind of offers, different niches, kind of get a taste for it. You don't really have to actually, do you know what? You don't really have to pick one model and one market specifically, right? That's kind of like just to make it a little bit more structured, but you guys, just so you can kind of get your foot in the door, as long as it's high ticket and you've done your due diligence on the business, right, and it's got a lot of lead flow coming through and you've actually validated the offer owner, then it's fine to hop around in the beginning like I've just said there, because you need to have experience to actually double down the line. You need to get paid now. You don't really have any leverage to be turning your nose up at other offers and just like, going, no, I'm going to pick one only. No, you need to kind of hop around, okay, in the beginning for experience, okay? So I'd recommend pick one model and one market so you can still keep the rest of it broad, like the sub-markets, for example. But if you really want to kind of like get your foot in the door as much as possible and kind of like jump around really in the beginning, just make sure it's high ticket, make sure it's it's really in demand. It's with an offer owner that's actually validated and actually has proof of like successful appointment setters in the past, so you know that you actually will be paid well, okay? So beginners, hop around and then eventually use that as leverage to double down on one area so you can become the specialist and actually earn specialist prices. And experienced, right, you guys need to stop hopping around now. Pick one model, one market, one sub-market and master it, okay? Because you guys will be paid more. And also, like, operational drag is a real thing, okay? Like, beginners, you'll see this when you first start out. Hopping on different offers and having multiple offers at once is really draining, okay? So when you're an expert, like, you're too good, guys, to be, letting these things kind of sap your focus and energy, okay? Working with 3 different offers, with 3 different models, 3 different markets, 3 different sub-markets, you're going to burn yourself out and you're going to hate the game, okay? So only do that in the beginning because you need to get experience. But once you actually pick one and one only. Not only will you be paid more, you have more energy throughout the day, which will make you perform better, which will then get you paid more, okay? So a bit of a mouthful there, but I hope that made sense. So that is the foundations. Now for the workflow, and this is something I really need you guys to understand. You need to understand the differences between AI leverage and human leverage within appointment setting, okay? AI's leverage, and I'll always say this, I'll stick to my guns here, right? I really hope the people that say, appointment setting's dying, appointment setting's going to get replaced by AI. I hope you guys are watching this because I'm going to completely prove you wrong right now, okay? I'm going to put a lot of you guys who are looking to get into setting or you're already in setting and you're worried about AI, I'm going to put your minds at ease right now. AI's leverage against a good human setter is speed to lead. That's it. If you're a good human setter and you're good at what you do, right, you're actually good, the only leverage AI has against you is speed to lead. That is it. That's all it has, okay? AI can only send text-based messages. It can't send personalized voice notes and it can't send personalized videos. And it can't call through like the Instagram app to do a triage call. Now, I already know what you're going to say. Right? Oh, what about 11 Labs? What about, Google Nano Banana 2? Like, yeah, fair point. It's a very fair point. But I will tell you this. Instagram, the API in Instagram blocks automated voice notes from like AI softwares. Why? Why does Instagram do this? Why does Meta do this? And why are all platforms going to start doing this too? You have to understand with these platforms, right? Their whole primary intention and motivation is user experience. Now, let me ask you this. If all of a sudden now with AI growing more and more bots being introduced, Do you think that's going to improve the user experience of somebody else that isn't in the business realm and just wants to scroll on Instagram? They're just being mass targeted by these bots. Is that helping user experience? No, okay? Because it's annoying. People are starting to hate AI even more, okay? Which means more and more restrictions are going to be added against AI bots, and it already has one now. AI, right? The API on Instagram blocks AI sending like personalized voice notes. So it can't automatically do it itself. Now, of course, there will be a workaround, but the only way to actually go through and send like a personalized, specific for that example, that topic that you're speaking about in this specific conversation, to have it as AI using it, the human will have to go in the back end, create the AI voice note and send it manually. So the human will still be needed to be involved within the process. So basically, like this whole AI thing for AI appointment setting, AI setting, we'll need a human managing it either way. Okay, so the human, which is going to be the setter basically, is going to manage the whole thing. So what's going to happen is there's going to be an appointment setter that is going to be using AI. Like if AI gets like this good, where like AI is needed so much, with the user experience thing that I just said there and the platform restrictions increasing even more, there will need to be a human working around it and kind of like managing these things. Because the offer owner, the reason why they're hiring a setter in the first place is because they're too busy to do it themselves, right? So the timing thing isn't going to change for them. They need someone to come in and introduce the AI stuff, right? So who better to manage it than an appointment setter that knows AI compared to a done-for-you AI agency, right? Which is going to charge 10 times the price. Why not just get a setter that actually understands how to use AI? Appointment setters are just going to adapt. That's what's going to happen, right? The crap setters will be replaced, right? And the good setters will actually adapt with AI and get paid more, right? Will be hybrid setters. Now, I've gone off a bit of a tangent there, but like AI, like it can only do text-based messages. It can't send voice notes, can't send personalized videos, and if it does do that, it needs a human to go in the back end and create it and then send it manually, right? Because it can't, like Instagram's API will block like these automated voice notes, automated videos, because again, user experience, it's not just gonna let some random AI bot just roam the platform, okay? So that's only AI's leverage is text, okay? Now, this is the thing, like a core component of appointment setting success is personalization, right? So completely outsourcing it to AI where it can only send text-based messages is just going to drop in ABR, which is appointment booking rate, which means like obviously the rate that appointments are being booked. It can mimic a low-level human setter extremely effectively, right? But only via text. It can't do it via voice note, it can't do it via video. And by the way, as the setter, you shouldn't be doing text only anyway. You should be doing voice notes, should be doing videos. Why? Because personalization always wins. That is a rule that's going to stay the same within the appointment setting realm forever, okay? And AI will never be able to do this because of what I just said there with all the restrictions and Instagram's API blocking it, okay? It can handle the grunt work much cheaper, faster and better than a crap setter, right? What I mean by that is it can do like the follow-ups, text-based follow-ups, and it can do like answer basic questions. But like if you're a good setter, you can actually build real pain. You can actually use personalized storytelling, right, etc. And you can actually book them in effectively and like have that personalization as your catalyst to actually get people to book in, show up and close. Like AI will never be able to do that as effectively as a human can. AI will just do the grunt work, right? Now, if you're a setter, and I'll leave you this, right? If you're a setter that can be replaced by AI, you don't deserve to be in the appointment setting space making 5K a month like you're trying to make. If you can be replaced by AI, if what you do can be totally replaced by some random $27 a month AI chatbot, you never deserve to be it in the first place. Are you really telling me some random AI bot can do what you do but better, and to the point where you're replaced and now you're back working this job you hate? No, you never deserve to be here in the first place if what you do can be replaced that easy, okay? And that is a rule of thumb. Honestly, if you're a setter that can be replaced by AI, you deserve it. You deserve it. You shouldn't be that easy to replace. Because if you're that easy to replace, you're not that good. And if you're not that good, you do not deserve to be making $5,000 a month like you're trying to make, okay? It's super important that you actually understand that. Now, let me just run you through the human leverage after that tangent I've just gone on. I don't know how long it was on for, but hopefully that was valuable for you guys. Humans will leverage the things that AI can't do, like I've just said. Okay, personalized storytelling, personalized voice notes, personalized videos, right? A human will always be able to do this better. Personalized storytelling, I'm going to put a massive point on that. And the reason why is, for example, AI can do storytelling, right? But it can't do personal storytelling to that person specifically, okay? For example, like AI is not going to be in the brain of the person you're working with. It's not going to know specific examples like you guys have spoken about privately. Like For example, if you're an offer owner, if you're working with an offer owner that's got a specific story that he told you, oh, I remember this time when I ran my business, oh, X happened, like XYZ happened, and I had to do this and this and that. Like, you can use like specific stories that they've told you and use that as leverage to booking calls, where AI can't do that because it hasn't heard that story and it's not in the person's brain. Okay, so really personal storytelling for that individual specifically is going to win massively because it builds more rapport compared to just like generic evergreen storytelling. Okay, so that's why humans, like when they leverage that, they're always going to win. Okay, humans will double down on personal touch and personalization, which is a core component of appointment setting success anyway. Okay, so what we're already doing, which is we're already utilizing personal storytelling and personalization in general. We're just going to double down on it even more to beat AI, because AI can't do it as well as we can and never will be able to. Okay, we're going to work alongside AI as a team, and this is where I need you guys to look at it. Okay, AI is going to do the grunt work. You're going to come in as the big daddy to finish it off. Okay, you're going to be like the big brother. Okay, it's going to be like, you know, when you were younger and you're you're playing video games and your little brother had to come and get you to, or you had to go and get your older brother to come and, you know, defeat the boss on this level. And you'd be there, you know, you'd get to the point where you can get up to the level where you need to fight that boss, but then you couldn't beat him. Okay, so you need to get your older brother to come and do it for you. That's basically how it's going to be. AI is going to be the little brother. We're going to be the big brother to come in and defeat the battle for it, right? That's kind of how it's going to be. We're not going to be replaced. We're going to work alongside it, and it's actually going to force you to get better, which is good, because the better you get, the more money you're going to make. Okay, and again, I just want to draw this point home. If what you do can be replaced by AI that easily, you do not deserve to be here. Okay, super important that you understand that. Now let's go into the next point. We are going to install my tracking sheet that got me to $5,000 a month. Now, if you want this tracking sheet, you don't want to make it yourself, right? And it's got all of the metrics. I give you all of my KPIs, everything like that, right? If you want it, follow and DM me on Instagram at AidenKSocial, right? And I'll send it over. Now, that's going to be linked in the description as well, my Instagram. Follow me and DM me the word sheet, right? And I'll send this over. This is the sheet that got me to $5,000 a month. It's also the sheet that landed me $5,000 a month positions. So if you're looking to land high ticket roles that are AI proof and become AI proof, right? And make $5,000 a month on these roles, message me, follow and DM me on Instagram, and I'll send you the sheet that I use to do both of them, right? Now, just a bit more of the workflow so you can get an idea of how this works and how to actually make a lot of money. We're going to be leveraging foundational qualification, right? So we're going to check the account and we're going to see if the person's like in our niche, if they're going to be a good fit for our offer. For example, if we're working on a business coaching offer, we're going to check the person's account that we're messaging. We're going to see basically, you know, if in their bio they mention their business they have, what kind of niche they're in. We're going to see and kind of do foundational qualification to see if they're actually worth talking to by checking their account. Okay, and once we've done that and we start the conversation, right? We're in conversation with them. Maybe they've messaged us or we've messaged them, right? Basically asking if they're open to hearing more information about how we can help them. We're going to essentially establish the problem they have and amplify it with personal storytelling, which is where obviously like this is going to come into play, which AI can't do. For example, let's say we're on an offer helping people quit their 9 to 5 with, I don't know, something else. Let's not do appointment setting for a second example. Let's do something else. We're drop shipping, okay? Well, we're going to amplify the pain, right, and their problem with personal storytelling. Oh, I really want to get into drop shipping because, you know, I want to make $5,000 a month online and, you know, I really hate my job. AI is going to go, great, that's a cool idea. Like, it's just not going to do it as well as a human can. Human, right, we're going to send in a voice note, mate, that's a sick idea. Actually, do you know what? This actually reminds me of something that happened to me when I first started out. This is like the exact model that I used to quit my 9 to 5, mate. So I know for a fact we can definitely help you. This is the exact route that I've gone, and where you're currently starting really reminds me of myself, because I'm currently you're currently in the position that I used to be in. So I know for a fact that I can help you, dude. Like, honestly, well done actually taking the jump and actually coming down this direction. I can promise you now, man, because you've got such a similar story to me, I know now definitely this is something we can help you with in a voice note format, right? That's going to perform better than AI's evergreen storytelling, right? Via text, okay? So we're going to amplify that with personal storytelling, which AI can't do. We're going to detect the desire and amplify it if necessary. What I mean by that is like desire to change now. Like, so they got the problem, great, they seem qualified, we check their account, they've got the problem, we've amplified it, right? We're now going to see their desire, right? And they need to have the desire to change now, because if they don't have the desire to change now, getting them on a call is going to be pointless, because they don't really have the, for example, if someone's like looking to get in shape, but they're like, oh, you know, it's kind of like not really a priority right now, getting them on a call is not going to be worth your time or the person's time that you're booking it in with, because there's nothing they can do. It's just like, oh, you don't have any desire to change now. There's no point having a chat until you do, okay? Because they're less likely to close, okay? So detect the desire and amplify it if necessary. We're going to basically say to them, look, oh mate, is this a problem you're looking to solve now, or is it kind of on the back burner, right? And they're going to go, I've had this problem for a while. I think I'm going to do it in the new year. You go, well, mate, why in the new year? You know, why wait that long? Like, clearly this has been a problem for years and years. Let's fix it now, mate. What's stopping you? And they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe we should. You're going to basically amplify it and try and get them to have the desire to change right now, because that means they are more likely to actually close when you get into booking a call, okay? And it just makes the person that you're booking it in for, it makes their life easier, okay? Then we're going to qualify finances. So must be earning a normal job wage, like minimum. Now, there might be a specific number that the person you're working with is looking for. But what I'm going to say right now is a universally qualified lead. And this is for B2C and B2B. And it does not matter like what the offer or the price is. This is a universally qualified lead. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Number one is they have the problem you're solving. Number two is they're from a first world country, right? And the reason I say that, and it's not in a controversial way, the reason I say that is because first world countries typically have more access to credit, more access to finances, and have more access to money to pay for higher ticket products, okay? So like the US and the UK, I know for the US, you know, you can get access to credit a lot easier. This is a qualified lead because if they don't have the money or they don't have enough money, they can go and find their money a lot easier through the credit, for example, than they can in like a third world country. That's why that's typically like a qualified lead criteria, right? First world country purely out of finances and access to finances, right? Has desire to change right now and has access to finances, okay? For example, like working at a job, working like a normal job with a normal income, right? Has the problem you're solving. They're in a first world country and they want to change now. That is a university qualified lead. They have the problem, they're in pain, right? And you can solve it. They want to change now. They are working a normal job and they have like a average income coming in, and you know they might have savings from that. If they don't, or they have like a bit of the savings, they can top it off with like credit they can get access to from being in a first world country. That is a university qualified lead, okay? Now we're going to qualify the finances, like I said, after the desire, right? So it could be like, for example, I would be looking for, are you making money? Are you working a job? Are you in a first world country and are you working a job? Yes. And you want to change now and you have the problem, qualified lead. That is a qualified lead for me personally. It might be different depending on the offer you're on. For me, that is a qualified lead, and I'll be looking to book them in. Okay. So when qualification has been acquired, you know, pain, desire to change now, and has cash, stop at nothing to book them into a call. Now, with this tracking sheet that I'm going to give you, the best thing about this, when I actually do send you this sheet, right, on Instagram, and I give you the tutorial on how to use it, like honestly, the process of following up, right, and tracking your follow-ups makes it really hard for leads to not book in. Honestly, like. After I implemented this sheet, I booked so many more appointments, right? And I really didn't let any leads slip through the cracks because of this sheet, okay? So we're going to use the sheet as leverage to basically make sure that when we actually get interest from a person, that they actually will book in, and we're going to stop at nothing to book them in. And that sheet is really going to help us out in the process, okay? So do this fast, okay? So this whole workflow here, do it all extremely fast. The reason why is because AI wins when you're slow. AI's leverage is speed to lead, but what we have to understand as well, yeah, it can respond fast, but also people don't like speaking to bots, okay? And if AI responds in the first 3 seconds, that person you're speaking to is going to know that they are speaking to a bot. And that's going to put them off because people don't like speaking to bots, okay? People will always prefer human-to-human interaction compared to AI, especially for high-ticket deals and especially with B2B. So we're going to leverage our humanity. Okay, so guys, that's pretty much it. That is the $100 million appointment setter workflow. Okay, if you guys want to have this a little bit more in detail, you want my personal help helping you become a high-ticket AI-proof appointment setter, because here's the thing: a lot of you guys, without understanding what I teach you guys, like a lot of you guys are going to be replaced by AI in the next 6 months. I don't want that to happen, and it doesn't have to happen. So if you guys want to learn the right way to becoming a high-ticket AI-proof appointment setter, there's going to be a link down below in the description running you through how I can help. Full transparency, that is designed to get you to book in a call so that I can sell you something, so you don't want to be sold to and don't click it. But if you're serious about making this work, right, you want to do it the right way for getting into appointment setting. You don't want to be replaced by AI, and you want to stay in here long term and make 5K a month pretty damn fast without AI knocking on your door and doing it the right way. Like I just said, I'm rambling on now, booking that call, and I'll run you through how I can help.